Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 274th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today in this session of the One Nation broadcast. And I've got Mark as co-host as well. Thank you, Mark. And I think we're ready to begin today's broadcast with members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's show. Okay, let's begin.
Hello, my dear beautiful souls. Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well.
Oh,
Swatcha.
thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, beautiful souls. Beautiful souls. And welcome to the beautiful energy and the beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, and the beautiful energy of all knowledge seekers and universal souls, and in the beauty and totality of all that is existing in love. So, and in the oneness, welcome in the oneness of the one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. And here I want to say our intention. What is the intention? We are doing it always so that we have created this beauty and totality as our own, in different way, but own, And I will say that we are creating conditions for the plasma technology to achieve peace. We are all doing it in our own way. This is the ability of us, so simple that is. And this realm, this one nation, is about the depletion of all that existed before. Like that we were called refugees in our own land. They have kicked us out, and then we have become refugees in our own land. But this time, orphans in our own land. But this time, we know what is about home. The home is about caring, not disrespectfulness, not violence, not killing, not this type of activities anymore, not a condition. So I will say that in this realm, we are living in peace, living the life we expected from eons, the life of abundance, the living in abundance, the life of all souls living in peace, in harmony together. And this is the way, and in the nature, as we are, as humanity is, we are inseparable from each other. And we are not at all a refugee. We are here as our home, and we are utterly, respected by all. And we know that how lovely it is to be together. So I will say that live like a being after so many years. Live in love, live in abundance, prosperity. What we know about it, we did. After in all those years from eons, we have buyed everything, even buyed care, buyed as a customer, we became customer of how to buy love, how to buy this, everything you have to buy. But in the universal unified field, you are there, and all the love is there, and you don't have to buy. They will come and give you the love you need. So this is what I want to say. This is the justified field, and you will be, well, of course, I will say, at home, safe and cared. So thank you, my dear beautiful souls. Salam, namaste, salute. Now we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. Here are the wishes, and I welcome Mark. Mark, are you here to read the wish? Beautiful wishes, my dear one.
Certainly.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We are creating conditions for the plasma technology to achieve peace. Our wish is our command.
We are present, my dear. Yes, the plasma technology is here, and it is fulfilling the need of all that is needed. The need of the soul, the realm of the soul is here, and the soul knows how to do it. So, and the soul loves each other. So we can go to the next wish. Here I welcome.
I can read this wish if you want.
Thank you, my dear.
We, the Universal Council, wish for all the government of the world to respond the need of their citizens by accepting plasma technology and to start application at a big scale in their countries. And we are present.
We are present. We are present. Beautiful intention. So we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick.
Okay, I
Mark,
can do this.
okay, you can read that.
Oh,
Sorry.
We give from our soul to comfort all abused children and elevate the soul of all abusers. And this is a contribution to this next session from Mr. Keshe, where we will elevate the souls of the children and also the abusers to get rid of this problem that we have on planet Earth. Thank you.
we are present. Thank you, my dear. Now, yes, thank you. Thank you, my dear Rick. Now, this is the 1 minute of silence as we do, as we elevate the soul of the children and all the abusers also, and for the elevation of all souls in existence. And this is the way we will understand the value, well, I will say value and respect of life on wherever in the cosmos, I will say, as we are part of it. So, my dear ones, thank you for being here. And this is the 1 minute of silence, my dear one. Beautiful, beautiful silence. So the silence starts from now. Thank you. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls, for being present in this moment of beauty and totality, in this moment of love and care and kindness. So, so much. Thank you. And salam, namaste, salute, beautiful souls. Thank you so much. Now we can go to the next slide.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Marie. I'm a Universal Council member for the Norwegian language, which is my native language. So I started this series about One Nation, and it's because Mr. Keshe is giving us so much information about what is to come, and it's developing from workshop to workshop. So this is part 4 in this series, and it's from Knowledge Seekers Workshop 485, which is the latest one. And I will read, but I will not read like I've done before, everything. It's more like highlights. So we are watching a change in the world of science. It's very interesting. Both the world leaders, or what we call the superpower leaders, they say new technology will be used for the establishment of peace, for enhancing the peace process. So this is in a way new, that and we can see it many places when the politicians and even the royals and probably the religious leaders too, they have started to kind of use this terminology that we use in Keshe Foundation. So now the world leaders and the superpower leaders, whoever that is, they say that they will use new technology for the establishment of peace. Isn't that interesting? And we can see the same thing coming out of the White House as also from the Chinese leadership. And the technology is going to be used to create a better world for everyone, for peace. But the test of time will not be there to see which one who actually does it, because the test of time this time comes through the soul of the man, because this technology is based on the soul of the man. And in the coming time, you don't need to listen to the words of the world leaders. You will see the essence of their soul. So then they cannot lie, because you will see their soul, and the soul is always telling the truth. So we will have a new way of listening and knowing what is truth and not. And in a way, as it said, nobody will take leadership, as they all, or we all will understand that we are equal. So when this is embedded in the world leaders, nobody wants to be a leader, because we are all equal. And the time for that change has come. So it's now. In the coming weeks, Keshe Foundation will make drastic announcements. In the establishment of world peace through technology, and in the agreement with the world leaders. So this is it will come through this drastic announcement. And we will see the change. We will see how world leaders will come to accept world peace on the equal basis of knowledge and space technology through the soul of the man. We are just about to break through a massive change for the knowledge of humanity. We have reached agreements with the world leaders, and it's now in their hands and time to announce it. So in a way, we are waiting for the world leaders to announce what is to come. It's their leadership which has to declare the position in respect to the new technology and science. We will see the change in a very deep way. The Keshe Foundation has done its job, delivered, and will deliver even more. And now it's for the knowledge seekers to gather the knowledge that when the time comes, they are there to deliver. Gain as much knowledge as you can. When the time comes, you become the teachers. The true teachers, but not arrogant teachers, just because you were there and you know a little bit more than the others. Try to be humble to teach unconditionally and try to understand there was a reason that you became a knowledge seeker. As you shared, you searched for the knowledge yourself. And he also says that to be a knowledge seeker is going to be fashionable in the very near future. Mr. Keshe says, I have put my signature to world peace, and we have signed the agreement with one of the leading nations in the world. And now it's for you to understand how to lead, to share, and to be equal. Keshe Foundation is about to emerge as one of the leading scientific organizations of the world and will bring a huge change in the dimension of technology. And it's the responsibility of you knowledge seekers to understand what you learned, what you are about to learn, has to be freely acknowledged and taught to the others, the newcomers, which they will come in masses. And in that process, try to be humble. It does not matter which part of the world you are in. It's the most important part of the process. So the humbleness is very important. Mr. Keshe continues, I have signed the Keshe Foundation into one of the biggest programs ever man will know to come. And we have come to sign by the leading nations of this planet. We leave it for the leaders to announce the cooperation, the use, then us as the Keshe Foundation to inform you who we are, where we are, and who we have signed into. Keshe Foundation and its work is based on the true knowledge and by delivery of technology and not by talks. It's your responsibility as knowledge seekers to deliver what you came here for and be ready for that change. We will see the establishment of and colonization in space within a handful of years. And this comes because you as knowledge seekers has been taught in advance. It comes as part of the establishment of peace, and it comes as part of our work as we promised. We have set the scene, and in a way, it's time for you to deliver, not for us. I have taught for 10 years, and now it's for you to teach for the rest of your lives. Keshe Foundation is kept independent of any national governments and their influence on the work of the foundation. I congratulate you, Mr. Keshe says. Knowledge seekers, on what you have brought for us to be where we are as a whole, as a Keshe Foundation, as a center of knowledge and technology. And the papers have been signed and sealed. A new phase in world peace has started, and we are about to deliver technologies which has never been seen before. And in that process, we'll bring the change. For those of you who understand, the change will be drastic. The enlightenment of the soul comes from the true knowledge of existence and not by arrogance of the knowledge of physicality. I congratulate you, all of you, in keeping the Keshe Foundation so upfront, so across this planet in different ways, effective, and to be seen that it has allowed us to bring the change in. Every effort by every knowledge seeker has to be made that the knowledge become abundant and in the reach of everyone. Does not matter race, color, creed, and which part of the universe you come from. It's a complement to the soul and not to the dimension of physicality. The first stepping stones towards world peace, towards educating now the world leaders that the knowledge and technology is not exclusivity of a nation, but the whole of humanity. This is the worst part. Teaching you as knowledge seekers was easy. Getting the world leaders to agree to equality is another ball game, and we are masters at it. We shove and we push, but at the end, we know the golden promise of the peace will come. We will see the end of shuttle diplomacy, of wars, not because we don't want to fight, but because the fighting and transporting and bringing people to one position, it becomes so easy that there is no need anymore. There is new technologies which will be released by Keshe Foundation as we reach peace and equality between nations. So we have to have peace and equality between the nations before some of the knowledge and technology is released. Knowledge which has never been open to humanity before. But we still continue with the trials as usual, as we have to keep you busy on this floating ship of planet Earth. The ship will not stop floating, and 8 billions has to be kept busy. Many of the citizens of this planet will take and become travelers of the universe. Maybe 1 or 2 billion will be the maximum population of this planet. Depletion of population will be so drastic that the nations will organize themselves to hold on to the basic needs of those who stays behind. The need will not be to energy or food. The need will be to have the pleasure that those who are in space can come back to what they call home. As I said to one of the knowledge seekers, the biggest price of this technology is its tourism, and it's not energy and gold. where we have the travelers of the universe to show to, and where we become travelers of the universe to see. This is where the joy will come, where, in a way, we don't have to worry for daily bread. We don't have to worry for daily needs, as all will be provided in one way or another through the soul of the man. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. So beautiful. The soul will decide, of course. Thank you so much, my dear. Now, we can go to the next slide. Here.
I think Stefania wanted to maybe play a video. Are you there, Stefania?
Yeah, I'm here. There is a video that Mark wanted to show, but it's quite long, so we're gonna divide it like your series in different parts. So we could play the first part, and then we go Mushfaq. I don't know if Mushfaq is here. He will
I have even made a slide for Mosfak.
No problem. It's all about the soul, so it can fit this slide. This one can fit both.
Okay.
So I don't know if Mark has the video.
I have shared it to.
I've got the video.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the video.
Here. Now, you want to play half of it? Or what?
10 minutes?
15 minutes?
15 minutes is fine. 15 minutes fine. Yes, perfect.
15 minutes, okay.
Yeah, no problem. Mark, I don't know if you want to say anything about this video before to start.
No, other than it's instructive for all of us to listen and review it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is called Physicality Souls, Part 1, Responsible for 3 Souls, the New Era.
It was so unexpected and sudden, like a flash of light. Then it appeared like the dawning of a new day. Is this the promised day? When suddenly we realize we are all 3 souls, the physicality, soul of the man, soul of the physicality, soul of the man. When we finish with life on this planet, we take the physicality, the physical body with us. The word death will disappear from our language. There is no death. How can I express what this teaching means to me? It's beyond anything I've ever come across. It's the true meaning of the resurrection of the Christ, which the Christians never understood. The Tibetans have the rainbow body, where the sage shrinks his body down to a very small size and it dissolves into light, but nobody really seemed to understand it. In India, there have been stories of people taking their body with them, but again, nobody could really explain what it really means. Until today, with this excerpt from the 429 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. We released these following few sentences in the Brazilian intention, and suddenly the souls woke up. Their souls connected to it immediately, and they started sharing their deeper feelings. We have to respect both the soul of the physicality and the physicality. The physicality is an amalgamation of the souls, which by their interactions and collective work, they create the soul of physicality in interaction with the environment. This interaction gives it physicality. At the same time, the totality of all, the collective soul interactions create the soul of the man. There is so much in this teaching. Please ponder it over and over again. until we realize all three souls are us, and we find a way to relate to each one individually and all three as one. There's something I'd like to share with you. It's about that fear for survival that we all seem to experience when we are waking up in the morning. That is, if we are quiet enough inside and aware of our life. It's a kind of subtle anxiety one feels pervading the space. But if you look carefully, there's no cause for it. It's just a fear inside oneself. Maybe it's like, will I be able to survive today? But then you tell yourself, no, there's enough food in the refrigerator, money in the bank, and I have a job. For now, I'll be okay. Then a cup of coffee or something to distract ourselves, and it goes away. Now with this teaching, of course the physicality is scared, because it knows that if the soul of the man gets free from the cage in the brain and the blood flow, this body will be eaten up by the others. And nobody respects the physicality. We treat it like a piece of garbage when we're done using it. Of course it is scared, because until now, we never knew the truth about the creation. Our job now is to learn how to love and respect the physicality and elevate it so that we can take it with us. Finally, I want to share one more gem from the 429 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, the following quote. We are created by the dimension of the creation of our own soul, by our own understanding and no more. If we look at ourselves deeply, who we are now, then this is what we understand. This is the extent of our knowledge about creation. But we can go further. It's up to us. Thank you. The summary. The first time Keshe Foundation asked knowledge seekers for donation or loan, need to raise 150,000 euros by the end of the day to complete this project. They have already raised millions, but one donor pulled out at the last minute. This will keep the Keshe Foundation independent of government or outside control. It's to open up institutes around the world and bring Keshe Foundation into international awareness. It's release of the technology in the public. Teaching. At the point of death, the body is buried, burned, or disposed of. Soul of the man goes free and forgets about the body. Example of cells of animal flesh and grains of rice, souls spread all over the world, still connected to the soul that created them. Magnetic fields of the souls are connected to everything, just like those magnets on the table, and that's why they move about, because they're connected to everything. That's why they move all the other magnets on the table. What happens to the souls that we as humans consume? We have been eating from each other's souls in the dimension of physicality. We as humans have not understood what we have been doing and how to correct it. At the time of death, we will be consumed also. We can bring a condition where the physicality comes within the soul, as now the soul is within the physicality. Knowledge is information in the dimension of magnetic fields, non-tangible. At the point of death, the body has to become like this knowledge, not to be consumed. We are responsible for preservation of the physicality after the point of death, to take it into the soul. We transmute the body into energy. It becomes useful for the elevation of another soul to give life. You don't need to die, or what we call leave a body behind to rot or burn. You cannot litter the universe with the physicality of the man. Like when you go to the park, you clean up after yourself. Creation of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality is like the proton and electron. Human race is nothing but a glorified atom of hydrogen with one proton and one electron outside. The process of nuclear decay is where the physicality is left behind and the electron flies free to create new orbits in itself, new cycles of life. The situation now is the soul of the man uses the physicality to elevate itself and then leaves. He says, I go because you had no respect for me when I was inside you as a soul. We have to understand and respect the physicality, that even after the soul's departure, it's still connected to it. There can never be a separation. It's better that we stayed connected to it since we spent so much time perfecting it. If you understand the transmutation and elevation of the soul of physicality or the soul of the man, you never die. Then you live the life of the Creator, the life cycle of the universe. How can I preserve the physicality to become a lover, to serve, not to be served, instead of becoming a piece of litter or dust? We never respected the physicality or understood what to do with it. The main reason is because we were ashamed of it. It's a president one day and eaten by worms the next. The physicality of the man is a collection of souls. Every cell has a soul, and collectively it has made the soul of the man. Man's dimension of physicality should never end. It's man who has not understood it and has littered this planet for thousands of years. We have to teach and elevate the soul of the animals also to reach the understanding of the level of its soul and how to transmute its physicality. The animal's soul is as intelligent as our soul. When we look at this planet from space, we don't see people or animals. We see knowledgeable lights because they have created the conditions of the knowledge of existence. We need to understand the totality and not just individuality, and the cycle of life has to be correct in all dimensions. We do everything to look after our physicality in life. We exercise it, make it look good for the others to admire. Now we need to understand that it's part of us. We created it, and it created us. Now we have to care about all its souls. When man elevates and understands how to transmute the physicality, there will be no prisons to lock it up, courts to judge it, cemeteries to bury it, or crematoriums to burn it. It will be taught the knowledge and to be a lover. And the essence of the creation of another, when you make a juice, you don't throw the juicer away. This is abuse. You train yourself how to develop it to be useful in the next cycle. We never knew we can use the soul to preserve the physicality so that it can remain with us. The soul of the physicality and the soul of the man, from the first moment of interaction and establishment of the first emotion, should be inseparable for the rest of the time of the creation, not just for a few years on this planet. You have to understand how to interchange between one and the other so that both become the preserver of each other. We have an electron and a proton. The existence of the electron is to keep the proton in position, and anything that leaks out as energy is captured by it and fed back in, that both can exist. Life has to be life for eternity. The elevation of the soul of the man is not just for you to be free, but for you to become responsible for the preservation of the soul of the physicality and the physicality, which you have accepted to exist within. Then would man ever die of any diseases or disorders? Sometimes we are within the soul, and sometimes the soul is within us. It's like when sometimes we drink the water, and sometimes we swim in the water. It becomes essential for us, for all of us, to understand the totality of the process. Then we bring the change to all of us. I have made the man in the image of myself. We have to respect both the soul of the physicality and the physicality. The physicality is an amalgamation of the souls, which by their interactions and collective work, they create the soul of the physicality in interaction with the environment. This interaction gives it physicality. At the same time, the totality of all the collective soul interactions create the soul of the man. To be able to get this point, we need to be able to elevate, not the soul of the man or the soul of physicality, but we need to elevate the physicality in the time, position, and place of its manifestation. We have to elevate it in all dimensions so that it becomes a beautiful being and can exist anywhere in the universe. We don't want the universal community to think of humans as the ones from Earth who, after using their physicality, dump it all over the universe and then go somewhere else to create more. The people of the earth have no respect for their physicality. How do you expect them to have respect for their own soul? We have no choice but to understand this. because we've been brought to the level of understanding of the totality in all dimensions, and not only in one. You are responsible for three entities: the soul of the man, the soul of the physicality, and the physicality. We have to bring this change to ourselves and the whole of humanity. When you go to a new dimension and you want to put the soul of the physicality out, would you create a physical body that is an acid, where it burns and is in pain and suffering? Or would you change the strength of the soul so that it changes the strength of the soul of the physicality and creates a perfect and beautiful body according to the conditions of that atmosphere? But we don't take from the environment what we need and then dump the rest. We share from the soul of the physicality with the environment, which allows you to create a beautiful physicality to enjoy the environment. But remember, you're responsible for it. You're more than responsible for it. You have an obligation to it. To be able to do this, we need understanding and respect for all three dimensions. Today, we hit you hard with this truth about how man is abusing the physicality by using it and then dumping it as garbage. You have to understand the totality of the process of creation and become part of it. We need.
Maybe we can finish the page and then what do you think, Erika?
Okay, sure.
Be able to bring the change to ourselves and to transfer the knowledge from all dimensions. It's like when the pieces of animals, which are souls, are spread across this planet as food. Each of these souls carry information of the soul to serve, not in the dimension of physicality, but as energy fields for elevation of other souls. From today onwards, you have become aware of the transmutation of the physicality, and now you are responsible for it. Now you know that you will not end up in a coffin, because you decide, and you have respect for what you've created and what has created you. You will look after your physicality. Do you dump your mother or your father once you're created and have managed to become successful? How can you do that with your own body? Now you are responsible for all levels of it. It's clearly written in the writings of Baha'u'llah. You cannot transfer a body more than 1 hour from the point of death to the burial. But he never really understood that there should be no body left over, let alone to be 1 hour away. At the same time, if you die somewhere in the universe, Earth should not become a cemetery for all the human race spread across the universe. No one should bring the body home to bury it on Earth. The Baha'i faith became an ideology and not a religion, because they never understood the process of creation.
Thank you. Wow, really beautiful. I think this one is connecting very well also with the training that it's about to come, the training that Mr. Keshe announced with the first 25 and then the 200, and they will reach to the 65 people where they've been taught how to transmute. I suppose that we've been taught how to keep their physicality, and those people then they have the responsibility to teach all of us. So I'm looking forward to next week to see the second part. This is actually great. I don't know if Mushfaq is present. Mushfaq, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, because this is linked to you as well. Because we were a little bit like, you know, in a different way.
You know, well, I've been talking about this area, this three souls and their interaction, not last time, but the time before. I talked a little bit about it. And the interaction between soul of man and soul of physicality, and the interaction between soul of physicality and physicality, and the emotions that are in these interactions. There was a diagram. I'm sure most people by now, it has been shown here many times. And by now, most people are familiar with it. There is the three souls, essentially, the physicality, soul of physicality, and the soul of man. Now, this is the topic of discussion in the presentation we just heard. And there we see that our responsibility, which Mr. Keshe emphasized as not just responsibility, but obligation. So this is something that is strong, yet we have to start somewhere. We have been ignoring it, for a long time. So let's start with something very simple. We have a pain in our finger. What is the reaction? Yeah, we feel the pain. What do we do after that? We don't think about the pain being generated by some changes in the field within our body, because of some interaction of some other fields. In most cases, within our body, or within our body, soul, etc. So, we go to somebody else, a doctor. We go to the cabinet to get some type of pain medication. We are looking outside for something that's within the solution lies within us. Okay, when I say solution lies within us, what does it mean? We can think about the fields that are necessary to correct this pain can be generated by us. That's one. But where does this field come from? Who brings this field to us that can correct this pain? Natural question. So, again, we look for, there is a common phrase in my part of the world, God knows. So we are always trying to skirt or move away from the responsibility or the obligation. We give it to someone else. So the field that we can generate to correct this, what can we do? We can once again, say God knows. Or now that we are a little more advanced, we can go to our GANS water and put some GANS water in there. Maybe that takes it away. That's one way. Once again, we are going outside. But in that GANS water lies the clue. So GANS water is creating the field, which we can create. So, but when the GANS water is creating the field to correct our pain, do we remember what the fields are? How does it feel? How does it feel? Here again, the emotion at the physical level as well as at the level of soul and interaction of the soul of physicality comes into play. We don't, since it's outside of us, we are not taking any responsibility of it. So, it's the GANS that's doing it. We are free to be the way we were. So that emotion that GANS created, that feelings, those precious subtle feelings that we brush, put it under the carpet or whatever, under the bed. is something we need to hold. Essentially, the understanding of how to correct the pain is in those emotions. So the GANs give us clue to this world of emotional interactions between different souls and entities, even external fields. But we're always moving away from taking the responsibility and bringing it within us. And then, of course, once the emotion, how does this emotion come into play? Where do we get this emotion? And in this case, yeah, obviously the GANs help, but is there any other way? I mean, it's again within us. Do we need GANs to generate this emotion or try to understand the emotion? Can we not do it ourselves? So the knowledge to bring the emotion and all the fields into play to correct this pain is also within us. The enhancement unit that we are interacting with or other souls, it doesn't have to be enhancement unit. Other cells we interact with or rely on can provide this hint. And we are exposed to it. But the knowledge of soul of man that comes into play in correcting these kind of situations, once again, we pay very little attention to it, but it is there. It is there for us to see that it is within us. Enhancement is not doing something big. It's using our soul to correct ourselves. And it's all within us. But again, we get, let's say, for lack of better words, addicted to enhancement. I'm joking here, but it's not that we have to go to enhancement unit all the time or go to the doctor or go to the GANs all the time. Can we remember and apply what we have learned, what we have recognized to be the knowledge within us, the understanding within us, the feeling within us, and the fields within us. And the complete system is within us. And make sure that it happens. Yes, it's I understand it's easier said than done, but so I was thinking about it the other day. And I mean, I'm not a very accident-prone person or anything, but I hit something. So and it hurt me quite a bit. And I said, okay, I can go and get some GANs while it's just next to my bed. So let's see whether I can do it without the GANs. So I what I just talked about. I mean, I said, okay, let's try to do this instead of trying to get GANs or even connecting to something, enhancement unit and all that. So can I do it? So it was a practice, and it did make things better rather quickly. Much faster than I planned on, but it did work. So it's the thing is that, was that accident a reminder that I should do it more often? Probably. I may say these things like in a meeting such as this, but it's actually very close to us, close to home. Some of our accidents, some of the events that we encounter in life are there to remind us that we do have this capacity. We may fail to get the understanding in such accidents, in quote, But it is something for us to learn from, for us to find a depth within us to make things better, be responsible, and make it an obligation to do it all the time. Yes, we are not there, but we have started the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Moshfik. As a beautiful teacher you are, as a beautiful soul. Thank you for their kind words and beautiful words. Thank you, my dear Stefania. It's so beautiful. Life of the soul and living. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing to this. Thank you, Moshfak. So I hope to see you next week as well for more information about what we can do of the soul. But it does remind me all the time when we were in the Mojan and Mr. Keshe started taught us about the soul, where he was and what he was doing and how to start to work with it. And I do remember when he spoke about the fact that we not should leave our body behind. And in the Mojan at the time, he really want us to not to use any machine, like you said. He was strong. He was very strong in this point. He said many times, like the real teaching, it's learn about your soul and how to use your soul without using any machinery. So exactly what you were talking about just now. And I do remember that towards the end of the training, there was one day when he talked about this lesson of not leaving the body behind. And I remember in the evening when he told us to go into star formation and not talking. In one of the evening, I personally really see this. I saw this with my eyes, where the two eyes was become one, and the mouth would disappear, and the body was into the brain and become like a ball of light. And I saw it many times that night. So it was the same day that he talked about it. So I know that I think since then I knew that this was the way. And I never managed to replicate what happened in the Mojan, maybe because lack of confidence in myself. But that really help me to listen this teaching, listen you talking, and keep practice even those for example, for you in Bangladesh, you said many times, you done it many times. And it's good because not everyone can afford the teaching. Not everyone can have the money or possibility to be present in with the cosmic ray and using the machinery. So it's very important to be aware about this aspect, that at the end of the day, our body, it's a plasma device. So at the end of the day, we have a cosmic light inside us. So for me, it's very, very, inspiring when I hear you, Mushfaq, talking what you've been doing in Bangladesh and all the experiments you've been doing. So it's really, really, really useful. Okay, thank you so much.
One thing I want to add, since Stefania is talking, when the experiments and limbs were going on, and I've talked about it here, but I think it's worth mentioning, is that Stefania went there physically and went there and was sat within the system, and I talked with Stefania that I will try to connect to the system through her. Why through her? So she's a soul. She knows the feeling of being within the system. So she knows. I don't know, but she knows. But I know Stefania. So what I did, instead of talking to her, I talked to her soul. My soul talked to her soul about the feeling of being in that machine. And that's how I first became familiar with the enhancement unit. That was my first experience, really, in coming in contact with the machine. And the interesting thing is that, later on, I went through the phone system and all that. But it was exactly the same as I did with her. So the thing is that we all know, we have friends all over the place who have gone through the experience. We are all in a position to connect. There is, we live in Keshe Foundation, we live in a world of prosperity. The peace and prosperity we talk about in this meeting, we are in it. And so Stefania is talking about, not everybody has the money, but we have a lot more than money. We have friends like Stefania, who has connection in high places, let's call it, which is the enhancement unit. Now I'm using regular, terrestrial terminology, but nevertheless, this is the reality. We are all, in one way or another, connect to the enhancement unit. And in case we are a little doubtful about things here and there, we can always fall back to all the enormous resources available to us. Is there any money involved here? No. So if we are to think about a planet where money is not a factor, let's start living that way of life here and now, because we are in it. It is not a place of, Keshe Foundation is not a place of scarcity. It's a place of prosperity, enormous amount of resources, technology, advanced science, space travel, you name it. So the more we engage in it, the more we learn to use these things. It's not like a showpiece in a shelf. It's something, all of these things are prosperity, not for decoration purpose, but for us to use, whether it's GANs, MAGRAV, anything else you can think of. I mean, some of us will use one more than the other, but we are all connected. So we learn to use it all in a way. And so the world without money, the world of prosperity and peace is here and now. The more we engage in it, the more we are in it, the more the world becomes what we make it. I hope I made some sense.
Yes, thank you very much, Mushfaq. That's why next week, when we're going to read the second part, you're going to talk us more, maybe give us some suggestion how to practice like you did today. Just keep a remind us. And I agree with you, the more we're involved and the more without knowing we're improving, and then we'll be there without, things will become simpler and more easy to grasp and then to do as well. We just have to keep going. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my dear Stefania. Thank you so much. Again, my dear Moshfik. Yes, we have to, well, as a student, I will say that your inspiration, your words are so much valuable for us always. So in all parts, you can say, and we will listen always. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Moshfik. Now we can go to the next slide.
Yes, good afternoon. So, as you know, I'm the Universal Council representative for the Italian language. So I wanted to bring a little update of what the Italian community do. So I just remind that when we say languages, for example, Italian community doesn't refer only to Italy. It's referred to everyone in the world that speak Italian. So we include everyone in the world. So it's not referring just to the country, but it's referring to the language. Yes, for updating to the Italian community, I wanted to say that the Italian group making progress. So they have chat called they have a chat where they're doing a lot of practical work, and this chat we have a lot of new knowledge seeker coming, and they prefer to kind of have this chat where they speak in Italian, so it's very easy for them to answer questions to each other, and sharing the experiment they're doing. It's very practical, and then they show the spray they're doing every Sunday. There are a lot of knowledge being shared in this chat, and then we have the official Italian Telegram chat, where then we got the connection with all the other groups for the other nation. And in this one, we use it more for also for give announcement or read announcement of other languages and keep the information with all of us. Also, we meet up weekly. So we meet up weekly. We got two groups. They meet up weekly and they're doing soul work. So we got a group of people who are being in Linz, or they had they've been in Linz, so they've been inside the announcement unit. So every week they meet up and they connect, and they going back to Linz, and they put each one of them goes in the middle, and the group focus on the person in the middle. And I have to say it was very, very useful, because in there you can really feel. So if you got a problem or anything you want to be helped with, you go in the middle of the circle, and all the people around it, they will support at the soul level this person. And I tried many times, and you really feel this energy coming to. So it give you confidence of the things that Mushfaq shared before. If for people who maybe there are not like everyday language or everyday practice, so it's very useful. And then we have another group that elevate everyone. Obviously, it's welcome, and it's invited to be present. Where the soul level, they elevate the leaders, and they elevating the focus, the elevation in different subject that maybe they feel like there is the need for those things to be supported at the soul level. We have also some people very active in agriculture. So we got an agriculture group where they're doing practice with the agriculture in Italy, with plants, bees, and also they have some testimonial of animals. And then we got another chat where it's mainly experiment. So and then we got the beginner chat for we just started. So yeah, we got many chats. Obviously, what I found with the Italian community, we have also a little group of translator, very, very little. So we always need for people for doing translation live for the workshop that we have, because we got a lot of public workshop, like the testimonial once a month that in English, and we got other interesting teaching like Sunday, the North American teaching and other teaching. So we would like to have more people to be able to be present in these workshops. They can translate for the Italian people that don't speak English. So we're only looking for people who speak English and can translate from English to Italian or to Portuguese to Italian, or to Spanish to Italian. So these are always welcome. So if you're listening and you would like to give a help, that for us is always great help. Yeah, we're also very few with organizing, but we keep going. We keep going, and slowly, we're hoping to grow. Like the community, like a Brazilian community or Chinese community or Romanian community. You know, there are some community that we know they're very strong. You know, I'm envious. Sometimes I think how they do it, but we just have to keep going. So I just wanted to share this update because I think it's important that we all know what each other's language group doing. So I do invite other groups of other languages. If they want to give an update, please do. I think it's very good to keep remind us or update each other. For me, it was very inspiring to see also Gianni with the Romanian community. They did this gathering in Romania. We saw the testimonial last Monday. So it was very inspiring. I thought about it in the Italian community. We're planning soon a workshop with the CAPS so I hope that a lot of people can attend. We put the announcement in the Italian group for who is interesting to learn about how to make the cup of life and learn about the plasma technology. So obviously you're all invited. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything and for all support. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Stefania. Thank you to Group Italian, the Italian community, and the Italian Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we can go to the next slide. Here is a testimonial about the session addiction. I think it's this testimonial is from the Brazilian team, as our beautiful teacher Alex Coric given this testimonial. Rick, is it about Alex Coric's testimonial?
I don't know anything about that.
I think we got yes. Okay, Claudia said yes, and also I think we got Lisbon. She's got some writing testimony, but I don't know if I'm correct or not. But yes.
Yes, this is yes. Claudia has confirmed that this is our teacher Alex Coric. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. We can play.
What is there to play?
It's a video clip. I think Marie has sent it.
No, I don't think so. No? Unless it's the one we already saw.
Okay.
No. It's not the one we saw. Maybe we didn't send it to you, so we didn't send to you. So because
okay.
Yeah, it was the Universal Council chat, but I don't think we sent it to Mary. Okay.
Claudia
Yeah,
says,
Claudia said
Okay.
it sent it to you. Okay.
Yes, yes.
okay.
Thank you, Claudia.
How did you send it, Claudia? In Telegram? Look.
Yes, Telegram.
Okay. Okay, let me download it. Just a minute here.
And just to mention about addictions, as Mr. Keshe said, this addiction of killing and destroying other entities is the worst addiction of all. And I've went to the intermittent feeding. Mr. Keshe had mentioned that. I didn't realize that there were many people on the internet that actually talk about intermittent feeding. I'm just consuming between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m., but some days it goes on different times, but I'm giving myself a 6-hour window and it's working quite well. I'm very impressed. I know originally when I came to the Keshe Foundation, they were talking, or Mr. Keshe was talking about you can feed yourself without eating. And I thought, there is no way that someone can feed themselves without eating. Of course, I wasn't thinking at all about the energy dimension or realize what certain people can do, but now I'm experiencing a small part of it. And also having respect for the other entities that I am consuming and thanking the creator for them. But it's a small step in a larger process, but I know it's definitely possible. Even on some days, I can go to 8 o'clock at night before I have, I'm drinking some coffee during the day, but the larger meals have definitely been reduced, and I'm reducing this overall killing and destroying other entities. And this is the worst addiction of all. And so I want to thank the Keshe Foundation. And now we know how we could go into deep space without the food or the medicine that most conventional space flights have aboard. So it's a beautiful experience, and there's no pain or no distress with it. A number of days I look forward to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but even then, when you sense a little bit of hunger, for some reason this plasmatic water appears, or you start salivating. And there's something in that, as Mr. Keshe said, we can change the salinities and absorb different energies. So maybe this was a gift of going to these monthly sessions and dining with the creator. And of course, the creator is you. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Okay, we can play the video now. It's about 4.5 minutes. It's called Alexander Skorik, Voluntariado Final Legenda. Okay, here we go.
Hello, my name is Alexander and I'm from Canada. I joined the classes in 2015 and became a private student teacher in 2018. The chaos in the Brazilian community delayed progress. Through the reorganization, I did public classes. The number of over 3,000 hours in the archives caused a problem for the newcomers. The Brazilian team made a plan, and we started public classes in October of 2020. The response was stunning, with over 700 viewers. Besides learning about plasma science, we needed to develop more teachers. This was a success. It was repeated in the Italian and Hispanic communities. Now it continues every Sunday in the North American meetings. I estimate that we have only reached about 6% of the world's population. With probably over 6,000 hours of archives now, the demands for teachers for the rest of the 94% of the population has increased. Many have doubts about the technology. The advances since June the 6th of 2022 have pushed a lot of people over the edge. When I was 35 years old, I was pushed over the edge. Doctors gave me 6 months to live. I had 3 choices. I could choose radiation, operation, or death. This was clearly an existential crisis for me. 5 years later, I got a 4th choice, and my health was restored. It becomes difficult when we look for evidence or for proof of new technologies. It is much easier to look for fake science and expose its failure. The institutions I respected and counted on let me down and brought me sickness. New knowledge gave me back my life. Doubt was eliminated. We are in an existential crisis on a worldwide basis. There is no doubt as our social institutions are failing on many fronts. In the absence of a bona fide solution, we would face in this year very depressing prospects. Many choose to ignore the present events and pretend that everything is all right. Every excuse in the book of excuses has been used. The Keshe Foundation has entered the new outer space age. Governments have no more excuses to delay progress for humanity anymore. As a volunteer at the Keshe Foundation, I have had to make another choice. The choice between either war and poverty or peace and prosperity is not a fair choice. It is a necessary and urgent choice. Abandon the failures and ignore the doubts, and just keep building the peace dome. The evidence was shown on December the 16th, 2022. The rate of change and adaptation to the new reality is the present challenge facing all of us. The Keshe Foundation offers a bona fide solution. I am grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this process and encourage all to do their part as well. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Alex. Beautiful teacher, beautifulist. Beautiful, so much inspiration, so much clarity. Beautiful teachers of Keshe Foundation. And we all love you. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Salam, namaste, salute. Now we can go to the next slide. Now we can go to the next slide. I welcome Stefania. Hello, Stefania.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, this one are, thank you, Mary, to have presented like this. So this one are the email address for anyone who, the first one, spaceshipinstitute.org. It's for anyone who have any health problem and you would like to have a support from the plasma doctor. So they can write to this email for the Wellbeing Center, and they will be answered straight away. Also, it's the same email for the 2 projects that of research they're gonna have very soon. One is for regarding the teeth. So anyone who has got problem with teeth, they're gonna start some research with the support of a plasma doctor. They're also a dentist, and they are aimed to regrow teeth. but also to help with any condition with the teeth. So if you are interested, please write to one of the two email, and let them know that you would like to be part of this project of research. This project will have a cost of 2,500 euro plus VAT. So please, if you want to be part, and this is very special price. So please, it's a very big opportunity for who has a problem with the teeth, or you want to regrow teeth. Then another project is gonna go ahead, is about the pH. So they're gonna try to have 2 weeks where they're gonna, if I understood well, please correct me if I'm wrong, but with the pH group, they want to achieve to keep the pH above 7. I'm correct. To be part of this project, you have to make sure that you can measure your pH daily. Otherwise, it will not be possible to be part of this project. Remember that when you can have control in your pH, you will be able to prevent mainly the all illness that there are present now. So people who want to prevent cancer or other health problem, that is one way to do it. And also it guarantee good health. So there are all projects they're gonna do to collect data. So very, very important, because as you know, we're gonna start soon to work with a leading governments. So we need to have a lot of data to show the efficiency of the technology. What else? Yeah, for any information also, you can write an info at Keshe.Foundation. Also, you can, if understood well, in info, you can also write for the program for the teaching. Rick is correct. The info at the Keshe.Foundation is also the one for the teaching that we start soon for the 25, and then they're gonna be chosen the 200 people, and then they're gonna be then selected to 65. I think if you want to be part of this teaching, you can write to info at Keshe.Foundation.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and also, if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong, you can also use the info at Keshe.Foundation for any testimonial with the cosmic ray. I know that for addiction, you got global, you got the other one that for the last addiction project that we just did. People can write if they had any changes in their life. I'm gonna look for, because I've written down. Yeah. So basically, if you've been to the addiction workshop project where we were working with any addiction, and if you find any changing that brought to your life, and if you reduce any addiction, you have to write at customer.service@kfm.global. I'm gonna write it down in the chat, so you will have it also written in the chat. So I think these are the update on the email address. So I think please correct me if I forgot something, or you wanna change, or you wanna say something that I didn't say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, my dear Stefania, for the information. For benefit of all, anybody can contact, as the core is health is wealth. Well, this is the abundance we can do. Thank you. Please contact if you want to donate. Please donate with care and kindness for all that lives and exists in love. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you remind me, Sweta, this is very important, very, very
Yes,
important. Yes, for who have financial possibility and doesn't know how or to who donate money to, this is a good opportunity if you can donate to the Keshe Foundation, because, for example, last Thursday, we have the announcement that thanks to a donation, one person that had no way to have a financial possibility to be part of the teaching, now can be present to the teaching or be part of the 25 people that will be studied directly with Mr. Keshe. So this person live in a country where has got no possibility to gather the financial, to have the money to pay for those training, but thanks to someone who donate, now this person can be part of this teaching. So we see how can we help each other. So I do invite anyone who want to be part of the teaching, please always write and say I would like to be part, but I don't have financial opportunity, or I can have this amount of saving or money, but do not have the total amount. And you never know, maybe somebody else who have a lot of money and can donate, maybe they love the idea to spend their money to helping people who cannot do it financially because they don't have the financial possibility. So I'm inviting both parties to write to the foundation to make the donation, and also who can maybe afford it to still writing if their wishes to be part of this teaching. Same for any condition or illness. If you're wealthy and you don't know how to spend your money or who to donate into, you can help people with a very serious problems, and they maybe need the support of the foundation to be able to resolve these life-threatening issues. Like we saw with, for example, Haza. She was circulating around email where she was inviting everyone to do a small or a big donation, because she said everyone who can donate, so you don't have to steal from your own self, but some people can. So who can donate, please donate, because doesn't matter how much, little or big donation can make a big difference for someone, because we have some knowledge seeker who they need the treatment, but also they don't have the possibility to afford for the whole protocols. So in this way, we can help each other. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Stefania. Thank you for your kind words. And the kindness can be done by anybody who can help, ability to help. Do help. Love to you all unconditionally, those who are helping other souls to grow in beauty and totality. Use this energy as a fulfillment for others in all love that is. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Now we can go to the next slide. Here, the Bengali community. Initially, what the intention was, Stefania has written a message, this email to ID. Please do. Thank you, Stefania. The Bengali community, and as I am brought up in Bengal, in the Bengali family, so, and I am Shwetanva, Universal Council Hindi language. As Hindustan, the nation is India, but I was born in Bengali family, traditional Bengali family, and here I want to share that some moments and some conditions that I was growing up at that time, the freedom movement, as my father and mother both came from a revolutionary family, as struggling or taken part, the whole family. And in Bengal, every for every family has taken part in the freedom fighting against the oppression and suppression, or what you can say, the British rule regime, cunning British regime. So I will say that that was in our. I was also brought up in this spirit, you know, the revolution and all. And at that time, the Bengal was not like West Bengal and the Bangladesh. The Bengal was one, the part of the one nation, and we always loved each other. We were never split it like this before, because because of this freedom fighting, one day the Mahatma came and tell, do or die, and there will be partition, and that is the most peaceful way. And then the horrible act was taken on. The man from the Britain partitioned, draw the line. He doesn't even came to India. So that is why we suffered a lot, uh, and we became refugees in our own motherland, as I talked about it. And many of us all over the world, we are refugees in the motherland we have. The earth is the motherland for all. We don't have to be refugees and tolerate this disrespect and violence. So, well, I will say that growing up in this revolutionary patriotism, I will say my father insisted on us that you should be like, you know, a revolutionary ideas, revolutionary poetic. I have written many poetry, and even though the whole Bengali community, as many all the communities of the world is have their own traditional art and form and music and dance, I have grown in this way. But still, there is this strong wholeness of my father uh, that has told us that uh, uh, courage is the part of this revolution. You know, if you are not revolting anything, you are, yes, we have to revolt. We have to tell people that don't do it. This is wrong. But that was the main theme of even an art and poetic, even that you have to be revolutionary, kind of that, you know, poetic and revolutionary, that this is not tolerable anymore, like that, you know, and you have to come in the roads and get this meetings. Sometimes it goes violent, that debating and all. But despite of that, I I have always chosen this way of love. You know, I used to draw these peaceful ways in my diary. I have a big diary at that time that I used to draw my father, mother, and we are going in a scooter together. There was a farm around us. Even all the situation was like patriotism. Even the music was like patriotic. I was drawing this, and from inside, I felt this need of love. You know, so I will, at that time, many poets of written about love, about romance, about all that is needed to flourish. A beautiful soul can do that. In this way, in the beauty and totality, many have written, and many have written in a beauty and totality also, a little patriotic way to encourage a new generation to take part in the awakening of what is happening and what has happened, and in a way not to tolerate these lies anymore. You know, they told us that there is a beautiful abundance, there's a beautiful beauty and totality that from within we know that exists, and we don't have to omit that because somebody is saying, somebody's suppression is going on. So from that time, I will, as we have grown along in the level of understanding, that we don't have to fight anymore for anything. But still, we are protecting us, we protecting ourselves, our ability not to get drained by other, as addictions are there in a way. So I will read a poetic version written in Bengali, and that version is from the. I will read it from. I have to open the. That poetic version was from Dwijendra Lal Roy, a beautiful writer, singer. As at that time, there were really, really very poetic, very spiritual, soulful people writing all people not to tolerate this violence anymore. So I will start this. The song is in Bengali, is Dhano Dhanni Pushpe Bhara, and the translation, the poet. I'll read the translation of the poet and about the poet a little bit at that time. What's going on, and and I will start it and I will say again, Assalamu alaikum, Sashvat Pranam, Namaskar, Namaste, salute, my dear beautiful soul. I'm going to read about the community I have grown up with, as courage is the virtue of the heart, and now the courage is to be in peace, restoring ourselves in peace. So I'm going to read this. During the 1940s, a new trend of Bengali songs known as Gana Sangeet or People's Song became popular in Bengal and its suburbs. It was popularized by those patriots who were against the British oppression on the British oppression. These songs were imbued with poetic flavor and aimed for the freedom of the natives from the exploitation of the Indians. From birth, Sri Dwajendralal Roy had an interest in music, and he was initially trained in classical music by his father, who was a pioneer amongst the Bengali classical vocalists. While he was in England, he trained himself in Western music too. In those times, Sri Dwajendralal Roy was considered a Bengali poet, playwright, and musician known primarily for his Bengali patriotic songs. During this period, Rabindranath Tagore, we say him Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore, Mukunda Das, and Kaji Nasrul Islam would compose their patriotic song, and the output of Sri Dwajendralal Roy, as well as his contemporary Rajinikanth, were no less. The Swadeshi movement and the partition of Bengal in 1905, during the time of cursed curzon, inspired and fired the imagination of Sri Dwajendralal Roy to compose songs of patriotism, nationalism, which reflected the earthiness of Bengal. He had composed about 500 songs, including Bongo Amar Janani Amar, that means Bengal, my motherland, my mother. Bengal is mine, my mother is mine. And Oi Maha Sindhur Opar Theke, from the other side of the Sindhu, and apart from Dhana Dhanne Pushpe Bhara. Like the composition of Rabindranath Tagore, Rabindra Sangeet, Dwajendralal's composition are known as Dwajendra Sangeet. Sangeet means song and music together. Roy's songs are exemplified by reality, splendor, joyfulness of life, and has become a part of Bengali Bhadrata. A part of Bengali Bhadrata means a part of Bengali culture and tradition. A Bengali ethos, you can say. A prominent literature of modern India, he passed away on May 17, 1930 in Calcutta. So he is still remembered and respected for his sheer dedication for the improvement of Bengali literature and motivation thousands of Bengalis to participate in the Indian freedom movement. So here is the poet, translated form in English. Fields of golden grace, meadows of fragrant flowers, two delights from earth offer many natural treasures. Nestled within is a place divine, set far above all measures, created from dreams anchored by memories, now here else a place of such luminous glories. This is the queen of all lands on earth. This is the land of my birth, the hallowed land of my birth. This place a beacon bright as sun, moon and stars of heaven, a glowing, inviting vessel under the charms of darkness skies, a magical land whose crooning birds awaken me to the morning light, and the same melodious songs bid me into the night, whose birds suckle nectar from blossoming flowers, then nest underneath for their nightly shelter, the soothing serenity of its river that glistens, and the distant hazes of its mountains, just the horizon, jut the horizon. its land bursting with the glow of blooms ablaze and fusing with the sky into an enchanted place as we are doing it. Its fields of grain stir as ripples of waves, played upon by the gentle winds in their seasonal embrace. This bond that tugs rivals love for a brother or mother. I yearn we not separate, but forever stay together in the oneness. This land that nourished and nurtured me from birth, how I wish this be the place of my final breath on earth. Beautiful. Well, final breath is going on on earth, and well, I will say we will live together in this oneness. And this has been translated by another author, Zakaria Mohiuddin. And I thank you, Zakaria Mohiuddin, for that. Everybody can enjoy this poetry in Google. And thank you. And initially, the Bengali community, I said to Mary that I wanted to give some portion of the Keshe Foundation Bangla teaching by our beautiful teacher, beautiful teacher, Moshfik. As he explained many things in so clarity, I wanted to share that, but I got no time because of some reason I was not able to translate those clips. But I will try to translate as early as possible to present again in the community. And I'm very proud of him. I will say that like that. And thank you, what I can say. And I want to share one thing more, that here as a tradition, in Bengal, the use of potato in every cuisine, mostly in every cuisine. And now, because that time because at that time around the freedom movement and all, and before that, the poets were very emotional. I'll say believed in the condition of love and peace. And yes, of course, they have written patriotic song because of the moments that was going on that time and that was needed to grow. And now the writers are talking about history. Many writers, new writers, talking about that because Bengal was very poor. Poor people lives here, so they use potato mostly in their food because this was about this. Potato originated, cooking of potato in every cuisine originated when there was drought in Calcutta, in Bengal, I will say. And many died. And this drought was also created by extreme energy forces. And at that time, people didn't believe that. And so it was a poor man's food, And but actually, and then it comes in the cuisine of a French restaurant, like a salad, like a boiled salad, potato salad with peas. It becomes fashion. So I was laughing when a writer was saying, because Bengal was very poor and there was drought, the potato was in use very much as it is poor man's food. And actually, it came from where we came all from, like Afghanistan, Iran, and all the places from there. Mostly the civilization originated in a way. And the potato came, and it is the most soothing and comfort food and digestible mostly. And now it's available also. So if somebody said to me that potatoes are, I have still sometimes stored 5 kilos of potato, 10 kilos of potato in my home. And we fry like French fries and eat it. And we enjoy the French fries. And of course, thank you for listening. There was a writer a few years earlier. She got a prize also from the British community. And her name is Arundhati Rai. She has written this book, The City of Joy. And really, really, Bengal, well, you can say the city of joy it is. And she talked about Calcutta, but the whole Bengal, Bangladesh, and now the Bengalis, we are all living in joy, Well, suppressed indeed with new fashion coming from Western and other cultures also. Well, I don't mean to hurt anybody, but the even I have been to America, that they appreciated my talking and my they have this yoga schools and uh, teachers in their several communities, and I loved it. You know, when they accepted, they want to know, and this is the beauty of it. We are forgetting that, and they are learning that. So this is the beauty I wanted to share. And uh, if from my Bengali community, Moshfik want to say anything, a few words, I welcome you. Oh, huh?
Yes, yeah, I'm
Oh,
somewhat connected to this thing that Shweta is talking about, some Bengali community. Uh, the one that I want to touch on is the poem, the translation of the poem she talked about. The translation is about one's connection to the homeland. A Bengali poet talking about the prosperity and the music and the beauty and all of these and the feelings of that homeland. This poem in Bengali inspired many in this part of the region, but it is equally applicable to the one nation, one planet, one race. You know, the homeland is our being, our whole body, the three souls we were talking about before. And the various aspects of the poem, the feelings, the music within, the connection, and at the end of the poem, that this connection lasts forever. We can think of this connection as the connection of these three souls, that we are to keep it together. So yes, this poem has been written in another context, but we can bring it to our present context that we have been talking about today, and it is equally applicable. The birds, the singing of the birds doesn't it sound like some emotions that we get glimpse of? It's this whole connection with the motherland, or the body of the mother, this whole feeling, and in many of the emotion and the joys, and sometimes the neglect, the sadness that comes with neglect, is all embodied in this poem. And it is not just the story of Bengal, it's the story of ourselves, our connection, the things we are there, how the prosperity is there, the songs are there. We just have to listen. We just have to pick up these wealth that's within us. And then this poem, written for Bengali community, is something for the whole planet, in the context of peace and prosperity, in the context of us coming together as the souls in unity. So the poem actually affected me a lot, you know, and I know the Bengali version as well as the one that Sweta translated, the translation that she read. So it's beautiful because although it's a story of Bengali community, but it's a story of all communities and the community that we call our body. Thank you.
oh, thank you, Moshfik. Your kind and beautiful word always. My heart is full of love. Thank you so much, my dear. Yes, this poem is for all communities of the world. And this is the dreamland, the land we created for us, the body we embodied. So, in peace and love, this is the way we do enjoy our freedom. and we know how to do it. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, my dear. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you. So we can go to the next slide. So here, welcome, my dear beautiful souls. Suswagatam, welcome, welcome to bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. You are so much welcome to share all the love you have created. Thank you so much.
Okay, we did have a question in the YouTube earlier from someone called Mary, who's asking, it was when we were talking about the soul of physicality and this healing of the soul of physicality. So she asked then, is this done by intention, this healing of the soul of physicality? Or for that matter, intention and emotion for all three soul bodies?
Well, my dear, can I say?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you, my dear Mary. Thank you for the question. I will not say this is the answer, but this is a point of view of mine that intentions are the trigger, the seed, and this goes around. If the fulfillment comes around when you understand the process, how it works, like understanding in the level, as in an energy level also, and we will say emotional, as you said, of course, how you're balancing, how you don't need those energies, those who are in this level of understanding to deplete or not. Your intention was not to not the existence of these energy, those who you don't want. And how will you understand to get in this process that they don't exist? You have to understand who they are, who the energies are. Like we have these addiction sessions, and we have this level of understanding. All these are addictions also, and you have to understand in the level of understanding that even a pain, understand every time you take the pain, and the pain is necessary and the suffering is necessary, or this is only moments of happiness. But you have to understand that in these moments and moments of time, we are going through this plus transformation, or you can say transmutation, that we have to deplete this addiction, deplete these norms or forms we attain as pain, as we have to do it every time. As our teacher, as Alex Cloric, was saying that I was also doing the same thing. I was also doing the same thing. Why not? Why should I do that again? Why should I teach somebody that again? So he became a teacher that is universal. So my dear Mary, you can the intention is the most important thing, but the fulfillment comes when you understand what is going on and what should be there. As for me, this is a point of view. If all are welcome to answer. If somebody else wants to answer, Mary. Hello. Okay. Thank you.
I'll add a little bit to it. The soul, in its interaction with the planet, the soul of the planet, brings the soul of physicality and physicality into existence. So the creation process has these elements. Now, as with our children that we create, we love them and we wish the best for them. We have emotional interactions with them. We take care of them. And we try to make them the best they can be. And this is our physical interaction with our children. So the same relationship exists the relationship of love between the soul of man and the soul of physicality. And the soul of physics, same thing exists between soul of physicality and physicality. Now, yes, intention, emotions are all important. But the most important factor here is the love that holds us together, the love that holds these souls together. So how do we keep it together? How do we sustain this relationship? Its intention is important, but beyond intention, the love for it. And from that love comes what has to be the right thing to do. And this comes from the soul of man, which was involved in the creation process of the soul of physicality. So the emotions at every level has this, emotions and intentions has this attribute of love. And the soul of physicality is susceptible to the various anomalous interaction we may have with the physical world. But as we rely on both the connection of the emotion and the love between the two souls, then we can take the corrective action from a higher perspective, that of the soul of man, of which we have very little understanding or familiarity. So as we become familiar with this, the reality of the love and the depth of the intention, the intention exists both, when I physically say something like I will do this, it's an intention expressed in words, but at the soul of man level, there is something else going on too. So, and the emotions that are attached to it, all of these are part of the process. It's not complicated. The thing is that we don't acknowledge this higher force that corrects the distortion at the level of soul of physicality. And as we bring it more into our lives, as I say, prosperity and peace becomes more and more evident. So I hope that makes a little more sense. Thanks.
Thank you, my dear Moshe. Thank you so much for your view always. Thank you.
Okay, we had another comment from Amo in the YouTube, which has an interesting point. As we talked earlier, Shweta and others talked about culture, their particular culture, and we talked about languages rather than countries as being the way it's organized, like with the Universal Council, for example. What would you say to Amo, who says, when I link to the sun, I do not hear human cultures?
Oh, yes, it's your way of understanding beauty and totality. And the
Hello, can't hear you.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you. I will say to Emma that yeah, everybody has their individual way to understand this ability. Somebody, uh, somebody wants to be in this energy level as you are, understanding the beauty and totality in your own way. And somebody have this different attitude, different cultural variability, uh, attaining the same position in the position of unconditional love, as you are experiencing when you see the sun. I was also a sun gazer at 2012. I started sun gazing. I know the experience, but these are different experience of different individuals, still inseparable from the universal unified field, my dear woman. So this is my point of view. But this is beautiful accordingly as we are the ability. So thank you, Emma. Anybody else want to share the point of view to Emma?
Can you hear me? Or
Oh,
because I'm outside,
Yes.
I don't know if it's the reception. Yeah, yes, a very good point. This is my understanding too, is my point of view. I think if I understood correctly, we divided in languages, because if you notice, and it happened to me many times, if we are more connected at the soul level with the language, with the mother language that we are born into. So, for example, and I found this for me. I found that, for example, if I teach something in English, for me, definitely it's different if I teach in Italian. So definitely I'm more connected. It's like if my soul, it's more connected with, resonate much easier with when I talk on my own language. So I think there is like a deeper connection with the soul from the language. And I think that's why we got Universal Council represented also each language group. So it's not with countries, but with language, because we kind of make a soul between all of us. We have common language, like the Italian language. So I mean, this is my understanding. I don't know if any.
Okay, thank you, Stefania. I think we got the gist of that. It's an interesting question. If we were to meet the universal community, and if they don't speak our particular language, how would we communicate with them?
It's a question, my dear Rick. Oh.
Go ahead, Shweta.
Oh, we are already communicating in unconditional love. So don't worry. There is no such thing. You don't have to worry about communication. Just communication in the soul level also.
The language of love rather
the
than
language of love.
Language as we know it.
You see, when we fall in, we say the fall in love. Falling in love was first sight. There was a sight, no words. So there is the communication. Thank you so much.
It's true that sometimes people fall in love and be of different languages, and maybe not even be able to understand basic things through communicating by language, but yet they overcome that through time by having that common understanding of love.
Yes, of course. Several films are also there. Of course, and real life. I have an experience of real life. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any needs and wishes or some comments they'd like to bring?
And for now, if not, my dear Rick, then I appreciate everybody's heart and soul, communication, and love. And we can wrap up and go to the next slide. Well, okay. Here, beautiful souls, we are all universal. We have to know that. And we are here to serve, not to be served, the Universal Council. Thank you so much. And I will say, welcome, welcome, Suswagatam, welcome to the beautiful, beautiful energy, beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, and follow, live the life of a being, beautiful being. Follow Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Life is here. Come home. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, assalamu alaikum, namaste, shashwat pranam, salute. Or to all beautiful souls. This is Shwetanvar, Universal Council, Hindi language. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sweta, and thank you all members of the Universal Council and everyone else who's appeared today for the workshop. Thank you for being here for our 274th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. The next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which is starting Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And people are welcome to bring your replications of the plasma technology or your questions and ideas that we can work with in that program, and it's open to people that are newcomers as well as old timers with the plasma technology. Okay, and Thursday, of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop as per usual, starting at 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, I think that's it for now. And Sweta, as you know,
but what about the emotion of dancing?
Time
How
for
it
our
comes balance.
emotional connection here.
Dance, dance, and clap, clap. Thank you so much. Beautiful souls.
Yes, indeed. So this is the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version, as we like to play in this show, as well as some others. It's an appropriate ending with some musical edge to it. Okay, thanks everyone. See you next time around.